I've never met a Met police officer before. Are you Met?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about Met, if you will.
Sorry, just one second. We're just having a chat. I'll come back to you in a minute, all right?
Evidence gathering today?
Yes.
Can I just ask you then, what camera do you have?
I don't even know what it's called actually.
You just know it's a camera?
It's a camera, yeah. I'm not that technical with it, mate.
You know how to point and shoot then, do you?
Yeah, I don't think it's as good as your... I don't know. No. That's probably not as good as your one.
Is yours bigger than mine?
It's that one there. I think it is bigger, bulkier.
Do you expect the police to interact today?
They might do. We're certainly being careful about that, and I think that's important. We've got to have the opportunity to properly protest. We've got to have the opportunity to properly say what's going on here. And it is, after all, the most extraordinary situation. I mean, never, not even in the midst of world wars, have we had regulations that are so sweeping and so restrict civil liberty and stop even having elections. In the middle of the First and Second World War, we were still getting by-elections. We actually had a general election when we were at war with Japan, and we had a general election at the height of the Spanish flu, which is, after all, a far greater threat to life than anything that's being said about the coronavirus. And the regulations seem to be getting tougher at the very time that the Office of National Statistics is telling us that, in fact, there's hardly any cases.
Without a permission, they do anything with data. This too, is this the same thing?
So this is the police reform. This is the one.
Is there a problem with it on there? Obviously, you're looking at legal matters with this paperwork. Do you think there's potential problem with this setup?
It's too early to tell, really.
That's the main one.
So it looks like they're discussing legal matters here to maybe seize the equipment. Well, we'll have to see what happens, won't we?
We are peaceful protesters! We are peaceful protesters!
I'm Dr. Kevin Corbett. I'm a retired nurse and health scientist, and I've come here today. I've been asked by the organisers of this rally to talk about the issue of the tests and the lack of non-science, the lack of science really around the coronavirus, what we call the non-science, and also the contradictions that the public are now understanding with the Rule of Six and all the ridiculous rules that the government have brought in, which are really anti-human and are confounding our way of life and preventing us from going forward as human beings. This is also not just an attack on our healthcare, but it's also a spiritual and cultural attack. We have no theatres, we have no arts, we have nothing working because of a virus that has never been isolated properly and because of tests that don't work properly. And this has all come in through the Boris Johnson government and through Imperial College London, who really picked up a viral sequence from China and ran with it and developed a test methodology that's totally spurious and has no foundation in science. And really, we want this looked at, and we want a genocide inquiry because people in nursing homes and hospitals are being left, and that is medical killing. And we also want a scientific investigation of the non-science behind the coronavirus. So that's why we're here today, and we hope to have a huge turnout today. And this is totally, utterly peaceful, and the police will not stop us because numbers matter. And Boris Johnson and the government need to know that the people are going to come out on the street of this country and they're going to demand that their government is sacked and that the scientists are sacked and that we have a genocide inquiry into what's happening.
It's all about not being scared of tyranny, because that is what we're actually exposed to at the moment. It's just tyranny. It's fear. Fear is being purported around the whole of the country, in fact the whole of the world, in my view, for an agenda of control. And we're here to spread the word that we won't be muzzled, we won't live in fear, and we're not violent people, but we're going to live in peace and harmony the way we see it, and we'll just carry on like this. And if anybody wants to get in the way and try and tell us what to do, we'll just ignore them. Simple as that.
And basically not to listen to mainstream media. Everybody's capable of digging a little bit deeper, doing some of their own research, and if you listen to other alternatives, you can put it on the scales and make your own mind up what you believe. But unfortunately, if you listen to one side of an argument, you're only going to have one opinion, and that's what most people have got. So we urge people to do their own research, look at what they find, and act upon it, make a valid decision. Why, when Delarius Cahill came last time, she's challenged him on a live debate on ITV. Why don't they take her up on it if she's silly? Make her look silly. There's a reason. If you can't win an argument, don't have it.
Starseed Light Warrior with the Pleiadians.
That's a new race.
Yeah, the Light Force, yeah. I've reincarnated to help with human consciousness.
And do you have anything to say on the matter?
Love and light. Yeah? Love and light.
I think it's going to be a day of education, to be honest, and that really is what it's about. Not that people out there aren't educated, but I just think that some people out there are not aware. You know, I wish I actually was a conspiracy theorist, and I wish I was delusional, because if that's the case, we've got nothing to worry about, right? And then we can go back to some sort of life that I'm used to. I'm here to represent the veterans today and talk about the veterans, because I've been involved in mental health since 2006. And having been all over the world and worked with mindset and done a number of things out there, I'm pretty well balanced in how I look at life. I certainly have the capacity to read studies and join the dots and come up with some conclusions once I've triangulated all of that information. And if that makes me a conspiracist, I'm okay with that. I believe my job is to raise awareness around the fact that veterans have been let down certainly since the days that I engaged with mental health, and they continue to be let down. And there's lots of different examples of that. And I actually think they deserve greater treatment. And you know, we're here to tell them that there is stuff that works out there, and we want to help them moving forwards. So that's really part of our message.
Riot police coming from this side, guys! Everybody over there now, the riot guys are here!
Stop living in fear. Critically think. Critically analyse everything. Don't take what the government says as gospel true. You've just got to critically think.
Do your own research, put it on the scales, make your own mind up, and I'm sure anyone with a grain of common sense will become one of us.
I'm not really an expert on coronavirus. I don't really understand it, to be honest, and I certainly wouldn't pretend that I do. But I do know this much. Having been involved in behavioural training and behavioural conditioning for the best part of 30 years, I know when I'm being conditioned, and I know when I'm being led down a garden path, and I know when something smells a little bit fishy. And for me, you know, I'm a really basic person. I go, well, if it looks like fish, smells like fish, it's probably fish. And so the narrative that's been created around this does not add up for me. And equally with a lot of the work that I've done, I've recognised that if you install enough confusion in people, they become highly suggestible. And I mean that in a very gentle way, because let's face it, I haven't really heard much sense with a lot of the things that the government have given out, because they don't make sense. And then to find out that the R rate is about potential, well, guess what? I have the potential to be a Prime Minister. Doesn't mean I'm going to get there. So I work on facts, and for me this is a fact-finding mission. And I would encourage anyone out there to look at the facts and challenge your own facts with counterfacts, so that you can then come up with a balanced opinion around what's going on. I find it really interesting that a lot of our academics within this country are not being asked to come and debate and give their opinion on how they're being advised by SAGE. I find that really interesting. What I also find really interesting about SAGE is that there's a member of the Communist Party as part of SAGE, a lady called Professor Susan Michi. And so what I find about that is, why do we need a member of the Communist Party to give us guidance on how we should behave? We're a democracy. That's what I fought for when I was in the British Army, and that's what I intend to maintain with my last drop of sweat.
And when you look behind you, I mean, there's no need for this. There's really no need for this level of policing. It's insanity, really.
We are reporting here from Trafalgar Square, London, and we have many great speakers on today. As much as I know, our own Irish professor, Dolores Cahill, and the famous nurse, Kate, what was her surname? Shirimani, yeah. And many, many more professors and doctors worldwide. So hopefully it all goes peaceful, and there's a great buzz happening already. A lot of movement behind the scenes as well. And I have my social media colleague here, Mark,
Independent of the mainstream media.
Yes. As mainstream media is not covering any of the latest events, so we social medians, as I call us, I think it's our responsibility to cover the freedom of speech, the restriction of freedom.
Yeah, I mean the police are over there and they've got their own camera, haven't they? So they're going to make a document, aren't they?
Yes, yeah, probably. There's a lot of police officers around. But we have a bit of a protection here as well, as much as I know. Yeah.
Do you think there'll be any interaction with the police today?
Yeah, they will do that. They will try to approach the speakers.
They will try anyway.
Yeah, they will try to approach.
But
that's what we hear.
we have to stay as peaceful as possible.
Yeah, that's what we
even
hear.
Like,
so whatever they want to do, we just contact you guys, then you speak to them. We don't want them to just jump in and just come and distract everything now.
And I'd say we just need to, I suppose we need to stay kind of in group of 6.
Of course,
so that
of course.
Yeah, so that they don't have any reason to. And we were walking around London last night and taking pictures, like people on the streets, like tied together. The full street was like full of people sitting down, dining, no masks on. Like, come on.
I know, it's a bit strange, isn't it? I don't know what to make of it yet. I do know there's something strange about what's going on. It's almost like Boris wants people to uprise or something. Yes. Then he can bring in new laws. That's the emphasis on peacefulness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Try and not play into their hands.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So cool. Hopefully everything goes peaceful and we will be keeping you informed. We'll be recording. Hopefully our batteries stay charged, and I actually have another camera with me, but somehow I couldn't connect it, so I don't know how much I will be able to record, but hopefully all goes well and thumbs up, okay?
A bit of critical thinking, that's what we need, isn't it, with people who haven't woken up yet.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's nice to meet you.
Okay, nice to meet you too.
Right.
High five.
My hands a bit.
Oh, and we hug, and we hug, we hug.
I'm David Curtin, I'm a London Assembly member, and I'm very concerned about the loss of civil liberties, which is why I'm here to speak about that, because I think a lot of people are very worried and they've been made fearful by the government and the mainstream media, and that's wrong. I don't think there's any need to be fearful, because if you look at the data, it's clear that this COVID-19 is no worse than a bad flu season. So all of these measures to restrict our freedoms, to close down our businesses, to change life as we know it is absolutely wrong. And I'm just here to say to people today, you don't have to be afraid. Stand up for your centuries of civil liberties, which are our heritage, which we have the right to. No one has the right to take those away from us.
How tall are you? Quite tall.
I'm 6'3".
6'3".
Yeah.
There's a big crowd behind. How many do you estimate, in your opinion?
Gosh, behind us now, I think there's a few thousand. I don't know exactly how many thousand at the moment, but we're still a quarter of an hour before it starts. So I think when it fills up, it's going to be a few tens of thousands here.
What's going on? This is an educational law. You are breaking the law. That carries a 14-year prison sentence. A 14-year prison sentence.
Stop! 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 Do not be violent! Do not push! Do not push! Police were pushing us. It was getting a bit violent. Choose your side! Choose your side! Don't push! Don't push! You've got them up there recording. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy.
That was the police trying to break the law. They've
what happens. They're terrified to have the truth put out. This is an RUPC case for genocide in Gateshead, upheld against Northumbria Police. They still won't investigate the crime. An appeal upheld for genocide in Gateshead against Northumbria Police, and they still will not investigate. Who are these criminals running these lot?
There's a bit of a standoff going on at the minute. I'm right amongst it. The police are trying to get through. Article 61 states we can exercise our rights via a lawful rebellion, and this is what is happening. Okay, keep the line. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold the line.
Get me on camera.
Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the line. Download the link and post it all over the internet. To anyone who's just tuned in, this is what is happening. We have got police trying to shut down a peaceful protest in London. Okay? There is the stage over there. That's where they're speaking. And the police very sneakily tried to come round the corner and they tried to shut it up. We've got some big guys here today. Look at the muscles on this man. Absolute tank. And we've got a good resistance going on, okay? So this is what is happening.
I don't want to hear what they're trying to do. They need to leave. They need to leave. Make a line. They need to leave. Make a line.
Guys, make a line. Pass it on. Make a line. Guys, make a line. Pass it on. Lads, you do realise that we're only trying to exercise our right to free speech. And do you know that yous are getting the vaccine first? And did you know that COVID-19 is... The police are withdrawing. Thank you! Watch the back, watch the back! Watch the back, though, the sneaky fuckers.
Are you going to let your kids have the flu mist? Are you going to tell everyone you know about what I've just told you? You go on to saveusnow.org.uk. Saveusnow.org.uk. By the end of the day, there will be a letter on there that you can download. You give it to every head teacher and make them accountable. Make them accountable for harm to your child. Then you get back in touch with me. You'll find me on Twitter. You will find me at Save Us Now. I will fight for every child! You think that this is going to go away? Let me tell you. They're coming for your kids. They're going to use the Safeguarding Act. They're going to use the COVID-19 Act. They're going to use the Public Health Control of Infectious Diseases Act.
People save the data now. The police try to shut down illegal demonstration, a political educational demonstration.
They've been trying to take his license for 20 years for telling the truth. He works in Sweden. I had the pleasure of meeting him. Gentleman standing next to me is Dr. Michael Nordfors. Let's hear it.
She got my name right this time. It's developing. So, today is the D-Day. Just like 77 years ago in Normandy, we have to take back our continent from the fascists.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be calm. We are peaceful. They are trying to evoke a reaction from us. Remember, officers of the law, civilians in uniform. Criminal Justice Act 2015, Part 1, 26.2. Abuse of police powers and privileges carries a 14-year prison sentence. We will see you in a court of law. You are terrorizing the public under the 2006 Terrorism Act, Part 1. You have been served notice.
1,500 years ago in Athens, they made an invention, and the purpose was to fight tyranny.
What's the actual problem? Why do the police want to come in?
Sorry, ask that question again.
Yeah, why do the police want to come and disturb the peaceful protest?
I think we just moved there and everyone just suddenly rushed.
Yeah, I think our units just went up there and then everyone rushed that way.
All right, that's your point of view.
Yeah, so what's your point of view?
I have no idea, that's why I'm asking
Well,
you.
this is what I'm saying.
There we go.
We were stood over there. Suddenly there was an announcement that apparently we were shutting it down, which I saw no evidence of. I think there were some police officers there, and then everyone just surged them.
Why can't the police just step back a bit rather than come forward? Can you see where I'm coming from? It's like provoking the crowd.
Well, it depends.
Do you know what? If it's your opinion and you're not the first person to ask us that, it's something that we can feed back, for sure.
Yeah, it is like a provocation. It's obviously
right.
peaceful.
Yeah,
if
I
you
see what
stand
you're
back and
saying.
stay back and you don't come in, it's like you're trying to cause trouble.
Okay.
Look at how the people see it.
No, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
You need to build up good customer relations with the public, and I think you'll get a lot more respect.
That's what we've been trying to do with people. We're trying to talk to people. Some people aren't necessarily as talkative as you are. But yeah, we would like to build a relationship so we could just talk to people.
Freedom! 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 Freedom!
It was my understanding that until the police arrived, there was no problem.
I think you may have possibly missed out on what you've seen.
What do you think I might have missed?
Well, we've only been deployed up here because police have come under attack.
And that was before. See, there were no attacks before the police arrived.
I'll be honest, sir.
From what I gathered and what's on camera, it shows that when the police arrived, they escalated the situation unnecessarily. Now that's my view.
Fair enough, sir.
Based on what I've seen and what's on camera. And obviously you get your orders from the top and you have to follow them.
Well, I'll be honest, sir. When the disorder initially started, I was in Catford, which is South London by a long way, and I've been deployed up here with all this kit on because of the police officers who've come under attack. Now I can't possibly comment on stuff that didn't happen when I'm not here. I don't know.
Saying who can live and who can die. We must stop the new normal. We must kill it dead. Kill the new normal. Kill the new normal. Both my parents were nurses. It's my heritage. Just think of any nurses and doctors in your own family, or any that you know socially. Just think for a moment about them. How must they feel about what they've witnessed? What they've done? Please think.
Riot police coming from this side, guys! Everybody over there now, the riot guys are here! Ladies, wave to the helicopter! Riot police, guys! Every guy over there! Ladies, turn around and face the rest of the cops!
Obviously, whoever organised the protest, they had to go through a certain procedure to get that authorised, which initially has been done. However, there are certain rules that apply that whoever organises these kind of gatherings or protests have to keep within regulation, which is with the new US health and safety regulation was that people obviously stay in groups not more than 6 and keep their distance. However, what we saw when we were obviously policing the event and just observing that crowd was encouraged not to leave the gaps and huddle together, which made obviously they were not complying with the health and safety regulation and not complying with obviously the rules that were given when the protest was confirmed. So therefore we had come in, we were some of the officers that initially came in and just started engaging, asking for people to disperse, which obviously that's where it escalated from.
Riot police everywhere! They're saying we haven't done a risk assessment! We have done a risk assessment! Please don't run up the steps, guys! Go across! Turn around, everybody in the front, and face the police! Everybody, link your arms, form a circle! Link your arms, form a circle! You officers should be ashamed of yourselves! I'm telling you, I'm single and I wouldn't pick one of you for a husband! You pussy-whipped bitches!
Just think about how poor people, what they've done? How can you forgive them? How can you help them speak out? How can you take back control?
Get everybody on both sides and please get off the stage. You're making it dangerous for us. Up circle. A circle all around us. Please guys, we don't want to get arrested.
Make a circle around us all. Stay in the back.
Well, I'm a nurse by trade. I got sacked but promoted and sticking up for the human rights for the residents in care homes and in nursing homes that are being neglected by the government and they are dying because of government plans and guidelines. So I'm here to hopefully save their lives because I'm a nurse.
And you're
Yeah, I'm a whistleblower.
How's the...
You don't have anything now almost.
Well, I was in a private nursing home which was funded by the NHS, of
That's
course.
like
We're all
putting down
nurses, we all
London
work on the
traffic
same
because there are
floor.
some traffic
I don't
victims.
see any difference.
We don't do that normally.
And they sacked me without giving me any form of
Politicians cannot
explanation
stop
or anything.
death.
So yeah, I'm out of work
It's
for
just a question
supporting
if we will
people
die
and for being
in
a nurse.
dignity
I've
or
been
in
sticking
fear.
up for human rights and they sacked me.
Now, all the villains you know, they run through this story like a stick of rock. The epidemiologists, the genetic virologists, the tycoon billionaires. Do you know their names? Imperial College, the Gates Foundation, the World Health Organization, and aided and abetted by our government. All pushing aside our safety, all plugging the new normal. We must kill the new normal before it kills us. Kill the new normal, kill the new normal. Now, this story continues.
I think the mainstream media are pathetic. I think that they've been spreading fear and propaganda for too long now. And I think that the people need to take over the media. It's about time because the media have ruined people's lives.
What do you think of Boris Johnson's new 6-person rule?
I think it's pathetic. Again, I think that it's a joke. I think a lot of people are not going to follow it. It's unrealistic as well, it's impractical, and more and more people are going to see that, and hopefully that will make people wake up.
George Ledger, a senior detective who uncovered.
We need to stand up. If the commissioners and the chief constables do not protect our children, they must go. If the politicians are complicit in this, know about it and do nothing or are named, they must go. If the heads of social services and child protection agencies bear false witness to take their kids falsely into care, then they must go. In the words of the Manic Street Preachers, if we tolerate this, then our children will be next. We must all stand together and say no more.
Say no more!
Say no more! Say no more! I implore people to come up and speak out, because the devil's biggest weapon is silence.
What's the best way of doing this?
I've just come down to just have a little wander about and see what the revolution looks like, and here we are. And my man here is doing a great job. The revolution's happening, mate, and you can see the madness behind this chaos. Well, there was a guy who had a drink, a bottle, and he looked a bit drunk, to be honest. Now, I don't know if he was there as an instigator. He looked a bit suspect to me. And then he walked, and next thing, two coppers were chasing him, and then they grabbed him, and that was it. The crowd and everybody, all the police ran in, all the crowd ran in, and it just went from there. But hopefully now it will just be non-violent, and it's been very peaceful. I mean, you know, it's tyranny what's going on, and the people are just trying to just get their freedom back. You know what I mean? That's all we want. And when you look behind you, I mean, there's no need for this. There's really no need for this level of policing. It's insanity, really. But yeah. Anyway, you're doing a great job, mate. Gaz Walding, give us a subscribe. See you later.
We're an activist group based out of Dundee. We're in association with all other cities across Scotland. What we do is we hold rallies and send out information. Mainly anything that's violating our human rights, we're out there for. Obviously, a lot of the face muzzling, we consider that a violation of human rights, forcing us to stay in home and stay apart from people, as well as many other litigations that are coming out.
I did have a speech written out, but I decided it's best just to speak from the heart. I just want to say that I love every single one of you. I don't know you, but we are the brothers and sisters of the human race. You guys are the truth, and you guys are the change, and you guys are the resistance. We are the resistance!
They're not going to come running, mate, they'll not.
My name's Sean Argyle. I'm an investigative journalist. I've spent the last however many years studying global corruption. The thing about global corruption, it really is global. All of the problems that we see in the world are all down to one thing. It's not down to the governments. It's down to the people who control the world. People think this is a conspiracy theory. Let me tell you, it's not. It's a conspiracy fact.
This is going to be the biggest attack, man. Definitely. The extraction team's coming through.
There are people who are above the government, above the law, above the politics, and above the people. And they dictate to governments what and not to do. And people go into this world and think we have a government who cares about their people, and think we have a voting system which will take into account our beliefs. Left or right is just the same wings on a single bird. It is. Okay, the next. Okay, if you look over there, we've got police over. If they do try and get me, I'm going to keep talking, but guess what? I've got the 99% of the population with me. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is 9/11. A lot of people say, can we just say, let's just say, rest in peace all the persons who were murdered on 9/11. As an investigative journalist, I can prove that the official narrative of what happened on 9/11 is false. I can prove that the official narrative is based on lies. And I have a picture evidence of a bomb that failed to detonate found in the rubble of Ground Zero. This has been online for a few months and it's going to go viral now. You guys are watching me speak and we're going to change the world. Because these bastards...
Here we go! Everyone! Whoa! Fucking police, what are they doing, man? What are you doing? What are you doing to him? What are you doing to him? You set of thugs! You fascist thugs! Fascist thugs! Fascist thugs! I've got all your faces, you set of fascist thugs, all of you, every single one of you. Look at this girl, man, you all fascist thugs, you think that's military? Watch it, fucking police, fascist bastard, Whoa, what are you doing? All your faces, every single one of your faces. Fascist folks. Fascist folks.
You are my brother, I help you, you help me. You are going to be, you are the beneficiary.
You would help society by leaving and going through the right channels to create a demonstration, which you haven't done.
We are not doing demonstration, we just came to listen to what people are telling us. Right. It is something wrong you all are doing.
We're only here to prevent disorder.
No disorder, who's fighting here? No disorder. There is no disorder, sir. There is no disorder. Who's fighting here? Nobody is fighting. They were talking properly. They were telling us the truth.
It's a very common tactic we employ in the police, which is to say, right, there's been a flashpoint of disorder, which Trafalgar Square has been today. We just say, please could you ask everyone to leave the square? That's it.
I think the police are advising people to stand back. I'm not sure why they need the police here to it's over with now. People will disperse in their own time anyway. It's gotten this far, their interaction with any further than it needs to be. It's like they're trying to provoke a reaction again.
Go, Bobby.
That is 3 minutes.
Moving back, please. Wait. Keep moving.
There's only one lot being violent. This is how Nazi Germany started, acting under orders.
No, they caused the disturbance. You lot caused the disturbance. So don't say that.
So the crowd actually recognised that the police causing a disturbance in it.
I'll go and find out. Keep talking.
My car's playing out there. That's on. Go to the park and walk around.
Thank you.
What's your reaction to what? What's your reaction?
Thank you. Everyone can even go home to where they're from. To where you're from. You can't gather and give one six. If you want to be with your three mates, go and be with your three mates anywhere else other than here. Because this is a gathering and breach of legislation. Okay, so go with your three mates, go and sit in the pub somewhere if you want to.
You need to go. Doesn't matter if you're media or not. It's not going to stop you getting it.
As opposed to forcing them all away. I never wear me like that. I'm moving off the square, thank you. Let's just get in.
I'm from Parliament onto down the street.
It's starting to instinct the police now where there's someone on the floor. Reminds me of Sheffield, this.
I like to see people taking the initiative. I like to see people not believing everything they read, because as we know, just very recently, in fact the Daily Mail have come out and said, issued statistics that show that a third of corona attributed deaths are in fact other stuff, including an accident and I think a heart attack. So that's all nonsense. So question what you hear, believe very little of what you hear unless you can verify it for yourself. Another point I'd like to make is that the amount of police presence here is vastly disproportionate to the amount of police presence for other kinds of public protests that have happened very recently, and I get the feeling that there's some sort of discriminatory or pro-discrimination, like positive discrimination going on there, and I don't think that's fair. But I'm happy to see that there are more than 6 of us, and I'm afraid I'm just a group of 1, so I could possibly control the 78,000 people around me, and what a shame. because it's not my job to, it's the police, and even the act that Parliament passed hasn't used its powers at all. And if they come to your door and ask, are there 6 people in there, and they want to come in and check, tell them no, that takes us over 6. So I say God bless you, and just look around. The numbers didn't go up after Black Lives Matter. Infection numbers only go up with testing numbers. Otherwise, we've all got it and nobody knows. So it's not an increase in infection, it's an increase in detection. And it's used to market big pharmaceuticals. The minute they get a patent, you can bet your bottom dollar that they will be on your case to take a mandatory vaccine, and they can poke it, basically. In England, as opposed to Ireland, Scotland and Wales, if you are tested positive for corona, you are assumed in England to just have it. In Scotland, after 28 days, you're deemed cured unless otherwise proven. So if you now fall off a ladder 27 days after you're tested positive in Scotland, or here for the foreseeable, it will be attributed to corona rather than falling off a bloody ladder. Also, the deaths are down for the statistical average, because obviously not many people in the lockdown were going in front of cars or workplace accidents. I can't find it. If anyone just Googles the Daily Mail, and the headline is that, it should be on, hold on a second. Yeah, the headline is a third of corona deaths are attributed to other causes. So here we go. Right, so it's, Right, so for July and August, died from other causes, including cancer, or being hit by a car. And that's from Oxford University. And they are scientists, so you better believe them, apparently. And I take their word for it. They've got a very fancy little graph if you look on it. And you might learn something.
We're asking people to leave Trafalgar Square.
And is that it? You're just asking, you're not ordering?
At this stage, I'm asking, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm assuming, based on police, the way they are in the future, they have been in the past, that you first ask, and then you order.
Absolutely. So, no, we ask, then we explain, then we advise, then we order, then we take it to the next stage.
One second. No, you talked to me twice, it wasn't several, okay? I'm going to leave, I'm going to the, can you tell me where the palace is? Where's the palace? Anywhere you want. Look at me. Thank you, look at me. I'm a person like you. It's not a problem, okay? You said twice. Right, those are several, you're lying. It's no problem, sir. Alright, that's what I need to hear. You're a person and he's a person, but for some reason he's got prickly. We're going to arrest me for your problems up here. Imagine all the bubbles.
Sir, the thing is at the moment is we don't know who's got a problem.
No, I understand. I do understand.
I actually noticed there were only 3 of them together. Why did you actually ask them to move?
It's true, I could still be here, but I understand there's a problem here. There is a problem here, but seriously, Commander, you need to work on that social skill, because it's not a problem. I'm happy to leave. You're talking too much.
Okay, sir, please go. Please, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Let's talk more.
I thought it was actually 6.
Right, you're having a drink now, let's go.
No, you haven't tried. You haven't tried. I'll go. No. Take the pictures. No, you did not try. Excuse me. Before you do it, I'm happy to be arrested. No, excuse me, sir. Before you do it.
I just witnessed 3 people blowing bubbles, and I don't understand why one of them got arrested.
Take my stuff and please don't shoot me, No, my arms are relaxed. I'm happy to be arrested. I'm happy to I'll put my handcuffs on. Come on. Keep the camera going, I am relaxed.
You're actually only blowing bubbles. It's ridiculous. You're blowing bubbles. 3 of them.
Bubbles, yeah. Where's that officer? That officer I will remember. Hello, excuse me.
There's some really controversial arrests going on around here now. I'm not sure what it is, but we're only blowing bubbles. I thought the rule was only 6. I mean, you saw yourself on camera, there were 3 people and they were just blowing bubbles. You're getting arrested for blowing bubbles. It's ridiculous. That's not even 6. It was
3. Take my mic. No, understand, please don't manhandle me. I'm happy to come with you. I'm happy to come with you. Okay? Don't manhandle me.
Unfortunately, if we have little groups of 3 people, suddenly they all gather together, don't they? Which is what's happened today. So, yeah, at this stage, this is the sort of the first stage. We talk to people and we say, look, clearly something has gone on today. We would like to prevent anything else from occurring today. So, please, could people leave the square?
You know, that's interesting you said that, preventing anything else from happening. Because when it had finished, everyone was going to go anyway, but then the police came and pushed everybody out.
Well, I think
Why couldn't the police just wait?
the point you made there, sir, was that when it had finished, everyone was still here.
They were protecting the equipment.
Okay.
From what I could see, maybe you're not aware of that, because they thought the police were going to come and snatch it.
Oh, okay. Well, sir, I can only say what I've seen, which is it had clearly finished, and there were clearly still thousands of people.
Well, it's my understanding that what's been happening down here, the police have been using the horses, but I'm not sure exactly what went off. Why is there so much police here? I must have missed something. There's hardly anybody here, but there's a lot of police. Boris, you don't need this much protection, surely. I'm not sure what's happening over here. It's like we're all huddled up wearing masks. Oh no, there's no masks. Is this a smoking area? Is this the rest break? Is this where you have your sandwiches?
I wish.
You look very tactical.
Pardon?
You look very tactical.
I feel very hot.
Yeah. I've missed whatever's happened down here because I was up at Trafalgar Square. Can you tell me what happened?
If I'm totally honest, I don't really know.
All right.
We've just arrived.
All right. Well, it looks like you're getting ready to deploy. I'm not sure where you're going to go there. There's nobody here. Police officers up north, right? They've got a sense of humour that's different, I think, to down south. So, do you know any jokes?
Hello, leave the area.
I like you.
Is that it?
I like you. Would you like to say anything to anybody watching this? Stay at home. Wear a mask.
Stay at home, be safe. You need to leave the area, please.
Why? What's wrong?
Eh?
Why? What's
pandemic going on, mate?
Pandemic?
Yeah.
Did I hear you right? Did you say pandemic? What are you looking at me like that for? Have you got a sense of humour? No. He's just staring. Okay, I'm going to leave you for the rest of your day. Thank you very much. At least you nod.
Bye.
What?
Bye.
Bye. Nod to the hand. What have you experienced today at Trafalgar Square? How did you find it?
Quite emotional at times. It was really good. There were plenty of people there. It was very peaceful, extremely peaceful. The talks were really good. The people that they had talked real good sense, honest and truthful about what's going on. There was a lot of police there. They orchestrated a lot of trouble.
I was up at Trafalgar Square and I witnessed some strange interactions with the police. What happened in 10 Downing Street, this area?
Well, everybody came down from Trafalgar Square. Large crowd of people, basically all the crowd that was up there, heading on down here. Some of them veered off and went in a different direction. A different group was involved with that. What we did here, this is the pen that's been here for the last 42 days. This has been a 24/7 protest against lockdown, and we're directly opposite Downing Street. It's a very, very significant place for us to be placing ourselves. And there's been a constant flow of people here for the last 42 days, all of whom have the interests of people's freedom at heart. It's a big deal for all of us. Geza is kind of the central character involved in this. Geza's been involved in a number of different sorts of protests over the years. He's an experienced guy. We had a full sort of sound system here, and Geza, once the crowd came down, Geza got up there and started giving a speech, gave a very good speech. The police started to appear in really big numbers. I mean, there was vans of them pouring out of them, and then a large crowd of them with, you know, full riot gear, the helmets, the lot. There was police horses, there was police dogs. It was a big deal. And people here just listening to a couple of speeches, and then they moved in more and more aggressively to arrest Geza. They grabbed him around the legs. He was standing in this position, on this which we've had to dismantle now. They grabbed him around the legs, caught hold of him, he pushed back. Geza knows his rights. He knows what they can do and what they can't do. They were stepping a little bit beyond that. Then it got very dirty, messy. They grabbed him, they pulled him down. Everybody was saying, you know, you shouldn't be doing this. It all got a little bit crazy. They threw handcuffs on him and dragged him away. So he's been arrested. What he's been arrested for, I don't know.
Do we know what police station?
Yeah, we know what police station. There's a couple of people going up there now.
Where?
I think it's Charing Cross. I don't know. I think it's Charing Cross police station they've taken him to.
Is anyone?
There was a couple of other people quite aggressively arrested. 4 or 5 of them rolling around on the ground, handcuffing him. Then of course the 1 or 2 pushing everybody back aggressively. So it's the usual picture that you've come to expect from the way the police behaves these days.
Under common law, they will get done for.
Yeah, so it was kind of, it got very ugly very quickly, and not as a result of anything that the protesters were doing. It was all police. They were working to an agenda, go in there, arrest, clear them out. So after 42 days, we're now being thrown out of here. Why? Because apparently there was more than 6 in here at one time. Yeah, it's all been dismantled. There's more than 6 people in here. So they came in here like automatons, reciting the law. There's more than 6 of you together, whatever infringement of the law that is. And we've got to clear out or be arrested and get fined at the local magistrates.
Police aren't been there, there wouldn't have been any problems at all. But you could see police surrounding, and I kept having to say we need to be aware of our surroundings because police were closing in, and it was quite scary, really scary when police were closing in on us. And we moved further into the crowd because we did get a bit scared, and it was just police. I think they were very intimidating, and just walking around constantly.
Any positive things came from today, in your opinion?
Yes, I think people were taking on board what the doctors and nurses and all the medical staff were saying, real honest about how the situation's gone and how it's going, and yeah.
And what about Boris behind you there in the house? What do you have any words for Boris? If Boris might end up watching this.
I don't think Boris is there. Well, whether this will reach mainstream media is very doubtful, but the trouble that will cause later on with the guy that got knocked to the floor, chased him. I don't know the full story. I did see him laid on the floor. He was on the floor for a good 40 minutes, surrounded by police, riot police. There were loads of riot police there. There must have been 200-300 police there.
Yeah, when I saw that myself, it was reminiscent to me like of Sheffield the other week.
Yes, definitely, yeah. The guy was laid on the floor, he wasn't moving, he was unconscious for a good 40 minutes. We still don't know what happened. An ambulance came after about 50 minutes, and they tried to pick the guy up and then he took him away on a stretcher, but not to the ambulance that was there. It was an ambulance further away, and I don't know what happened to that. I just hope the guy's okay.
You know, I don't think it's individuals who are just, you know, flexing their muscles, wielding their power. They've been told this is working to agenda. You can do this, you can push this far, and you know, we know the way crowds react. They'll push back, then you can arrest them. They know what they're doing. That's exactly what happens. They're playing a game, and they've got all the power. You know, a normal guy who's got to go to work on Monday doesn't like the idea of being in the cells tonight and then facing a fine and all the aggro that goes with it. Whether you're in your rights or not, nobody wants that aggro, and they know it. We've been told we need to get out of here. We're organising all our stuff now to take that out. There's nothing we can do about it. I guess they're coming in softly, chatting with people. Nice guys, hey, we're the same as you, we're just wearing a uniform. But then they'll be in here to threaten us with arrest. Pretty sharpish. There is something else I'd like to say. Gezza's been arrested, as has a chap called Alan. Gezza is, I don't know how this is going to pan out. I don't know if he's going to get a fine, if there's going to be, you know, further action with this, or if he's going to get a slap on the wrist and asked to leave. If there's a fine involved with this, I don't know what it will be, but people need to do a GoFundMe to pay for Gezza, because he is pivotal to this movement. He's a really important character. He's a good guy. There's no question of him being corrupt or being any kind of controlled opposition. He's a real deal, and they're worried about him. And people who also care about what's going on in the world and what's going to happen to us need to help Gezza out with this.